Sound plays an incredibly important role in Hellblade Senua Sacrifice, and a particularly distinct part of the soundscape are the voices that Senua hears throughout her journey.
Where are you? He's lost. He's lost. You can't save him. He's lost.
You're not gonna find him.
You'll never find him.
You'll never find him.
Listen to you. Did you feel him?
As part of Senua's experiences of psychosis, she hears voices, something that is very common with mental health difficulties and is experienced by huge numbers of people.
You're gonna find him. You can find him.
I really had no idea what somebody who hears voices actually hears. I mean, do they actually hear voices, or is it more of an internal voice? I really didn't have a concept of what this would sound like. So we wanted to find out.
I'm not gonna let him rot here!
You're the one rotting here.
Leave me alone!
You will die here.
No!
And all your suffering will have been for nothing.
We wanted to make sure that the voices the player hears are true to the types of experiences that voice hearers have. To do so, we reached out to people with first-hand experience, including a group at Recovery College East, the Voice Collective, Rachel Waddingham from Behind the Label, and experts in the field.
My name's Charles Fernyhoe. I'm a professor of psychology at Durham University, and I lead a project called Hearing the Voice, which is looking at the experience of hearing voices, or to use its medical term, auditory verbal hallucinations.
They know you're here. They're watching.
Hearing voices is an experience that is usually associated with severe mental illness, diagnoses such as schizophrenia, although it's also associated with a number of other psychiatric diagnoses. And crucially, we know that hearing voices is a part of ordinary life for many people who don't meet the criteria for mental illness.
You killed him.
So when I first heard about the development of Hellblade and had a chance to engage with Ninja Theory about our research, I was really keen to do so because there's a huge problem of stigma associated with these experiences. They're misunderstood, highly stigmatized, and that problem is particularly acute with younger people. So these experiences tend to start happening to people in adolescence and early adulthood.
She can see you now. Come in.
That was a mistake.
She's in the way she
Professor Charles Fernyhoe really opened our eyes to the depth and range of voice hearing and invited several voice hearers to the studio so that we could show them the game and really talk through their experiences. It was really surprising to hear that these are characters that they live with, that are important to them, and in some cases they wouldn't want to live without.
And the whole thing around you'll regret that, if that's a conversation that she can hear but it isn't directed to her, that gives that sense of more of what the real experience can be like.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's very good actually.
We discovered that people had a wide range of experiences, from hearing just one voice coming from a distinct location to hundreds of voices that came from all different directions. And one thing that stood out to us was that for many people, the voices had distinct personalities and characters, and this was something that we wanted to bring through into the game.
Please stop. You'll never come back if you go there. She can't do it.
You will die here. And all your suffering will have been for nothing.
Binaural audio, where you can position the voices in space, reflects better what the voice hearers were telling us they heard. There are many different styles of voices that she hears. Some of them are fully developed characters. There are other characters that are based on people she once knew.
Everyone hates her. She's cursed.
And then there's the Furies, and these are disembodied snatches of words and sounds that torment her or sometimes assist her. Finding a style for the Furies was one of the major challenges of this project. So I asked for help from a friend of mine, Helen, that I knew, who was part of a theatre group called Rash Dash. Helen came to the studio with Abby and Mark, and together we worked out how we could make these voices come to life around you. Based on the experiences of the voice heroes, it felt like the voices were far more complex, intertwining and chaotic than we originally envisioned. If we could represent not just the voice but the physicality of these characters interacting with each other, we might come up with something unexpectedly different.
Oh, it's really hard not to follow the voices, that's so weird.
The next job was to implement the voices in-game alongside the music and sound effects. This is the job of David, our Hellblade audio lead, working closely with Tamim.
Una de las cosas importantes en el diseño sonoro de Hellblade es transformar lo que ves en lo que ve Senua y crear así un universo sonoro muy particular. Es una diferencia muy sutil, no es lo que se espera que tú escuches, sino es lo que Senua escucha. Tener la suerte de contar de primera mano con gente que escucha voces realmente nos ha ayudado a crear una visión más real y más personal. Una de las cosas que hicimos fue presentarles dos versiones de una misma sección del juego con diferentes diseños sonoros. Uno con las voces más limpias y más como las escuchamos normalmente, y otro con las voces mucho más procesadas, más caóticas, más como si fuera más ruido. Y curiosamente la que es más real, más limpia y más clara es la que ellos eligieron, y la que realmente al final es la que más te impacta y más te llama la atención. Contrariamente a lo que se suele hacer en diseño sonoro, que es exagerar todo, bajar el pitch y hacer todo que suene súper grave, nos quedamos con la versión más limpia y más humana al final.
It's very hard to represent what this experience is like, partly because it's so varied, partly because it's such a personal, intense, emotional experience. It's testament to how Ninja Theory have been reading the research, listening to what the researchers are saying, but also crucially listening to the experts by experience, that what they've come up with is so compelling. It's by far the best representation I've heard of what these experiences are like.
Yeah. Oh, that's not him in real life.
It points to something important that I think games can offer, which is to let you live in the skin of someone else, someone who perceives the world very differently to most of us, and understand what they're going through in a way that no amount of reading about the subject can do.
Our work on Hellblade Sound continues, as does development across the game. We thank you for your support so far, and we look forward to sharing another update with you soon.